Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beavermaj, and today I'm here to talk to you about Beneath the Darkness from the Portugal-based Blasphemous Fire into the Gods of War Productions release. And on this debut, surprisingly, Blasphemous Fire delivers this painfully cavernous, punishing death metal record, one with some blackened touches and even some doomier passages. There's a lot that this album is drawing from. The riffs here are just absolutely demolishing, yet there is also this harsh, suffocating atmosphere and just this sinister sense of dread overtaking the entire album. The songs are well paced, they're just very well written. It just doesn't stop. Its full intensity keeps the same level of aggression from start to finish. It's just a pile drive until its conclusion. The Eclipse and Birth starts with these dark, brooding riffs, while this painfully eerie percussion kind of just slides in with some patient cymbal work. But slowly, the riffs get more intense, darker, faster, and they are met with this adrenaline-backed snare rolls. The whole track is compressing until finally it feels as if utter hell is reached. Everything is met with these hollow growls. So much wicked energy is just breathed into the mic. It's convincingly dark, and you can feel the band funneling you into this dense, apocalyptic chaos of a mix. It's so muddy and ravaging and abrasive, but it also has this clarity. It pushes it to the extreme without losing any power in the music. Heavenly Bodies has more of this suffocating doom quality. These big chords blend with these gothic leaning bends, all carrying these super focused, just vicious, stared down hisses. It's all coming together for this absolute sense of hopelessness. Everything eventually evolves into these meaty, rolling guitar riffs and absolutely destructive double bass runs. It's an exceptionally massive moment. The music here gives off this evilness that doesn't feel forced. It has this crushing atmosphere. It's particularly brutal, but also the music can be kind of cerebral in just the mood and the energy that's being projected, but not in a pretentious way at all. This track is mixed in a way where it feels as if there's this distance between you and the band, as if the band is in a cave. Yet, also, in contrast, it's also very tangible, as if it's pushing right up against you. It's really impressive how they made it feel this way in the studio. And because of that, it just creates this effortless hostility and just complete void of any light. I love the fierce march of Pleasure of Suffering while these dizzying, serrated licks float around, adding this fevered sense of atmosphere. There is this savage sense of rhythm here, these triplet patterns that pair the thundering drums and slicing guitars. It's so violently corrosive. On the Torture of Being, the vocals are actually a bit more aloof in an intentional and performative way, as the guitars and the drums weave together in these more open but very nightmarish runs of just noisy atmosphere. The band has this way of making the less busy parts just as heavy and harsh as when the riffs are fully activated. The band played with a lot of feedback and dissonance throughout the record, really. For example, these screeching guitar leads are just perfectly ugly. I think the percussion on this album, this track for sure, is just particularly fantastic. The drumming can be incredibly fast, busy, and intense, but the drummer also knows when to bring it down, be more skeletal, and add a lot of detail to the doomier and solemn sections. But when the drums are let off the hook, it's just so furious and enraged. The pale colors give us some of the most uncompromising, aggressive, unforgiving runs on the entire record, just really relying on pure speed, intensity, and dynamics. And they nail that. The way the drums here are brought somewhat to the front of the mix, it's unbelievably crushing and brutal, but it isn't bearing anything else being mixed that way. The band, throughout this record, seems to push certain aspects to an edge without crossing the line. They find that moment, that peak of extremity. On Loud Wishes, the vocalist is almost barking demonically while being backed by this cacophonous array of chugging riffs and machine gun drumming. It's just a stellar display of full hostility and abrasiveness. There are some more festering, mournful riffs with this dark sense of melody, and the way they are weaved in, it just makes music even more vampiric and distraught. In this band's music, there always seems to be these multiple layers that are colliding with each other to create such a dense, visceral sound. But the way they collide, the crash is so calculated that the sound that impact makes is also very musical. The first victim, these thrashy riffs with this kind of occultic attitude backing it up. It actually has a sick groove. While there's plenty of screeching lead, it feels as if it's kind of looking back and going to the first wave of black metal, but mudding it up a few notches as it presents it back to you. There are these absolutely nasty galloping riffs while the bass feels fully rounded and is carrying this track with a lot of muscle. There's just this war cry that seems to be permeating through this track in the way that the instruments are being delivered. Compulsion of the Hand That Kills begins with these creepy, jarring noises. The band creates such a horrifying mood and sense of fear for you as it opens the door for these slithering, eerie guitar melodies and these gurgling bass runs that feel like they are puking out acid. Listen to this towering, massive wall of blast beats that the drummer just throws at you. It's pure hell, and I just can't comprehend the power and the intensity that the percussion is able to reach here. I've said it already, but how muscular this music can be and how bleak it can be, and the way that the band is able to focus attention on both appeals equally, it's so impressive. Those Who Die Dwell on Me is just a grotesque, maniacal closer. It just constricts and becomes more and more punishing until you can't escape, and suddenly you don't want to. And this ends the album on quite the note. The album just keeps the same energy and brutality and never lets up from the beginning to the end. This record fucking rips. It's riffs on riffs, but also so much venomous atmosphere. It's convincingly dark and despairing music. If you want some well-produced, well-performed death metal, and you like your death metal to also borrow from other sounds, you like some black metal thrown in, and you want that given to you in the most uncompromising way possible, well, this is it. This is your record. I really recommend it. And hey, if you like my reviews, hit the like button. It'd mean the world to me if you'd consider subscribing. I have a Twitter you can follow. Link to that is in the bio of this YouTube channel. Leave a comment. I love getting to engage with those. And hey, keep it metal. My name is Maddie, aka Beaver Mosh, and I am signing off.